If you follow Mr. Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad, or Count Dankula, you may have already seen this story, but I definitely want to go over this from my perspective and talk about the latest development. It's a story of a man named Mark DiStefano, formerly of BuzzFeed News. I have been very critical of this man. I have actually spoken with higher-ups at BuzzFeed News about what he's been doing long before this story broke. I warned them. This man is not a journalist. He very well may be a criminal. For those that aren't familiar with the story, this man, Mark DiStefano, was spying on the private meetings of rival newspapers and then live tweeting the details. This very well may be illegal. If it was in the United States, it would absolutely be illegal. Now, this man, Mark DiStefano, has published fake news about people like Count Dankula and Sargon of Akkad, Carl Benjamin. He's an activist working in media that uses false framing to target people they ideologically oppose. Or it could be that he's a grifter and he's seeking shock content, and that's why he broke into these Zoom meetings. Now, many people have said that he hacked these companies, and hack is, I will do air quotes. He illicitly entered them, tried to hide his identity, and then revealed private information. Yeah, okay. You can argue to an extent there's some journalism somewhere in there, but this was actually more like corporate espionage. The latest development, for those that are already familiar with the story, is that they're calling it the Zoom bomb case, and he may have actually broken the law. That's the gist of the story. So basically, here's what this guy does. He's a lefty activist. He smears and slanders. He's in fact one of the dirty, dirty smear merchants Sargon has referred to in the past. He entered illicitly rival companies' meetings. Now, he left BuzzFeed News. He joined the Financial Times. He illicitly entered these meetings using his work email address. When they saw him, he apparently jumps out of the chat very quickly and then re-enters using his own mobile phone address, spying on these meetings. It may be a violation of the law. Now, in the United States, he absolutely would be on the hook for violating the law, violating the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, because he was not permitted to access those servers, and also potentially some corporate espionage stuff. This is what happens when you don't vet your staff. This is what happens in a world of crony journalism. You see, what happens is BuzzFeed News hires this guy. Why? Because BuzzFeed News doesn't vet staff, and they are lowbrow, low quality. Now, I must give a shout out to former BuzzFeed News editor-in-chief Ben Smith, now of the New York Times, who is doing an absolutely stellar job. And boy, do I mean that. If you haven't followed this dude on Twitter, it's Ben YT. He is calling out the media. He is calling out Biden camp. He is calling out what needs to be called out. Much, much respect, Ben. You're doing an amazing job. But I can't understand why, and perhaps because this guy was in the UK, you didn't know about this, but you end up with an activist writing fake news trash. Then what he does is he uses those credentials, here's what I write about, to get a job at the Financial Times, an actual prestigious paper. This is laundering activism into high-profile news. And the big outlets, they keep doing this, hiring activists. Well, eventually they get fired. This guy has now been suspended after the scandal broke. But he basically was breaking the law. Crony journalism means this guy may actually get hired again. Now, Sargon said he's probably destroyed his journalism career. That may be the case. I don't think so. I think he's going to get hired again. Let me show you something. All right, this is the gist of the story. I think we broke it down for you. In the U.S., it would have absolutely been a serious federal offense or felony. You can't do what he did. He may have destroyed his career, but I don't think so. I want to show you how the news media operates. And I'm going to use Trump as an example. Take a look at this story. Trump falsely claims he never said U.S. could test 5 million a day for COVID-19 very soon. Crony journalism means people like Mark DiStefano can just keep recycling and getting their trash jobs and writing trash fake news. Let's talk about the truth. This is what I try to do. In my line of work, I would argue that I do political commentary, cultural commentary, and then journalism. The reason why I say 100% it's journalism, sorry naysayers, you can't reject it, is because my goal is to help you understand what's actually happening. You can certainly disagree with my opinion on things, but I'll give you the truth or the best understanding of what's happening. Trump was asked, let me read you the story and break it down how they're falsely framing this to make it seem like Trump lies. Donald Trump on Wednesday backed away from a vow made less than 24 hours earlier that the U.S. very soon would be able to test up to 5 million people per day for coronavirus, falsely contending he never uttered these words. He never did. They're lying. He never said the word 5 million. The next day when they were asked, you said 5 million. He said, I never said that. He didn't. Trump didn't say it. They're playing games with y'all. Let me explain what really happened. Quote, right now they're testing about 200,000 per day. So that would be a significant increase, the president told reporters in the Oval Office. The answer may be in the timeline, and ultimately that might be possible, but not in the near term. He called the question on Tuesday that prompted him to make the $5 million test goal remark a media trap, a new phrase he uses to describe reporters' questions that he answers and gets himself into political hot water. I didn't say it. Where did it come from? It's sort of a setup. It is. A reporter asked Donald Trump, could we get to 5 million tests per day? Oh, that was a trap, all right. Trump is right. Are you kidding? 5 million per day. That's what they do. Donald, do you think that we could get to 5 million tests per day? And then what is Trump here? 5 million tests. You see, we're at around 4 million plus tests. If you remove the per day, then it sounds like what Trump thought he was being asked was, are we going to test at least 5 million people at some point? We're very close. Absolutely very close. The honest interpretation of this is that Trump just misheard the question and didn't say we are jumping from 200,000 to 5 million tests per day. Why would a journalist ask such a loaded and ridiculous question about 5 million tests in a single day? No one is anywhere near 5 million tests per day. That's how the media sets them up. And then what they do is this. They put together a video, 7th time over the past 2 months that Trump has denied saying something about the coronavirus that he in fact said. No, he didn't in fact say it. Someone asked him about 5 million tests per day. Trump said, I think we'll get close. The honest interpretation is that Trump misunderstood what was being asked of him. In this video from J.M. Rieger of the Rieger Report, I believe it's a Washington Post video, they show you quotes from Trump. And boy, do we really see what's going on. They try framing this as though Donald Trump will say something and then a week later say something totally different. Does Donald Trump do this? Yes, he does. But they highlight it all the time. They claim he's lying about literally everything all the time, and they're tricking you. It makes it very, very difficult to know what he's actually saying and what actually is true. Makes it hard for even me, which is why I'm often reticent to make videos of saying Trump lied, because they're lying. Take a look at my tweet. Watch this, watch it again, then refer back to the claim made by WAPO. Short clips, out of context or recontextualized by reporters asking questions. Trump says, quote, some think it goes away in April. Reporter asks, you said it would go away. Then they snip it and say he lied. Let me break that down for you. They show a clip where Donald Trump goes, you know, some people think that come April it'll go away, and then it freezes. And then it shows a reporter going, you said that in April it would go away. I never said that. Trying to make it seem like he was lying. You know what, man? There's a video about manspreading by Vox. In it, this is the most amazing thing. Liz Plank, this is the woman who made it, that clearly is lying throughout the whole video. And I've had friends watch this and be like, wow. And I'm like, did you see where she lied? In one instance, she's like, these women are forced to stand. They can't sit down because of this man who is manspreading. Yet the entire train is like empty. And like behind them are a bunch of open seats. Clearly they just chose not to sit down. It's amazing to me how they can put it in your face, lie to you about what it was, and people believe it. Or maybe they don't. Maybe that's why people don't trust the press anymore. Because they watch the clip and they go, what? Trump didn't say, I think it will. He said some people think it will. He could have been disagreeing with them in that clip, and I wouldn't know because you snipped it out of context, and then a reporter a month later recontextualized it. Let me give you the best example of this. PolitiFact. Donald Trump and the fish food dump, how early reports got it wrong. Remember this story? November 6, 2017. Shinzo Abe of Japan threw all of this fish food into a koi pond. Donald Trump then followed his lead. I believe it was ABC. I may be wrong. They say initial reports of the food dump, like this earlier video from CNN, suggested that Trump acted on his own. This pushed the late-night Twitterverse and blogosphere into a tizzy. The website Jezebel posted a story headlined, Big Stupid Baby Dumps Load of Fish Food on Japanese Koi Pond. Because the video zoomed in on Trump so you couldn't see that Trump took the lead of Shinzo Abe. This is how they always pull it off. Recontextualize, decontextualize, and change what's happening. So look, I understand the principle, the main point of this story was the Financial Times journalist. And, you know, that's just an example of crony journalism. Him going from BuzzFeed writing fake news, then going to the Financial Times, and then getting caught spying on other companies. I guess he thought the rules didn't apply to him because often they don't. Now they do. Welcome to the big leagues. We're going to keep seeing more of this and it won't go away. They'll keep lying about the president, and the president lies too. I totally think so. He's also strangely very honest. Let's be real. He blurts things out. He's got no filter. Sometimes to his own detriment. Well, often to his own detriment. But the point is, it's Trump and the media. Two sides of the same coin in certain respects. You know, the issue is Trump's an individual who's got a personal agenda. He's the president. He's going to say things. That's politics. That's what people do. I get that. Trump's going to talk big of himself. The media's not supposed to lie. The media's not supposed to be targeting people with malicious intent. I don't know what else to expect, but there you go. I got another story coming up for you in a few minutes. Stick around. I'll see you all shortly.